Yep, we're already talking about iPhone 16. Surprisingly, though, we know a decent bit about the iPhone 16, including what it should look like. Let's talk about it. So last week, Marco over at Mac Rumors gave us a look at what prototype designs of the iPhone 16 Apple had been testing. Marco, aka Unknowns21, has been telling us for months now that the iPhone 16 is going to feature a camera design similar to that of the iPhone 12 and 11, where the cameras will be going back to the vertical position as opposed to the diagonal position we've had since the iPhone 13. We hadn't known exactly why Apple was going to be doing this until just a few months ago. When Apple introduced the iPhone 15 Pro, Apple announced that it could record spatial videos for the Apple Vision Pro. And this is most likely possible due to the way the wide and ultra-wide cameras are laid out on the 15 Pro. This feature isn't possible on the regular iPhone 15 because the cameras are diagonal, so going to the vertical layout would allow this feature to be possible. But we hadn't known exactly what this vertical camera layout would look like until now. Marco gave us a look at 3 prototypes Apple had either tested or is currently testing. The first is what you'd expect. It's the same body as the iPhone 15, but with that iPhone 12 style camera bump, along with the action button being brought down from the iPhone 15 Pro. And Marco had also been talking about a project Apple's been doing codenamed Nova, which is supposed to be a new capacitive capture button for taking photos and videos, which is supposed to be on all iPhone 16 models. However, on this prototype, the capture button isn't present for some reason. Maybe this could have been an earlier prototype before the capture button project was pitched, because the second prototype does indeed have Project Nova, which is that capture button. But the second prototype also has another project Marco had been talking about for a while, Project Atlas. Project Atlas is supposed to be the next generation of the action button, where it's now going to be capacitive just like the capture button. Maybe there could be different actions when you press harder or softer on this new action button. But it looks like this action button is going to now have this weird, longer design now. Definitely looks strange, but it is still an early prototype, so things very well may change. Now, the last prototype we saw is definitely the quirkiest. It still features the vertical camera design, but with a pill shape inside of the square. Kind of like if the iPhone 12 camera design merged with the iPhone 10 camera design. And if you thought the button designs wouldn't get weirder, well, it just did. The action button on this prototype looks normal, but there's no capture button just like the first one. But the volume buttons look to be a unified design now. This design was actually one of the designs that Apple considered for the iPhone 15 Pro after the solid-state button project, Project Bongo, was cancelled. Another design change we could expect is potentially the thinner bezels from the iPhone 15 Pro making its way down to the iPhone 16, but no sources corroborated this yet. In terms of other changes, we could see the new A17 or A18 Bionic chip, kind of unsure of what it's going to be called yet. It'll probably just be a rebranded version of the iPhone 15 Pro's A17 Pro chip. We should also expect better battery life on the iPhone 16, and we may also see some exclusive AI features. And that looks to be about it, at least for the standard models. The iPhone 16 Pro is going to have a few more changes coming its way, and I'll have a separate video regarding that a bit later. So that's most of what we know so far about the iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Plus. We'll be waiting on upgrading, or will you just buy an iPhone 15 right now? Will you get the 16 Pro? What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments.